Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Kis Uni video series. I'm your host, Farid, and today we have a very special guest, Batool Amir. She is the founder of a very impressive startup, Oval NFT, and I'm sure you all will be very excited to hear about her work. Welcome, Batool, to Kis Uni.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to start from the very beginning. So obviously
Right.
you had a very you just loved entrepreneurship, I can tell, with your startup and your work.
Yeah.
So talk about your O-level journey. Did you take the humanities subjects like business, economics, or um, what was that like?
Okay, so my high school journey was completely different to what I am doing right now. So high school, I think, is very at that time you don't have much of an idea what you want to do in the future, and a lot of people end up thinking about, oh, they don't even know about university that they want to get in. And similarly, like when I saw your platform, I was so impressed. Okay, I've seen in my high school as well, when there were students who didn't even know अगर उनके पास मेडिकल है, उन्हें नहीं पता कि कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटीज मेडिकल को डील कर रही हैं, कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं जिनमें वो बिजनेस की साइड पे जा सकते हैं. So that's a great initiative. I'm really impressed by it. And secondly, in high school I was not sure that I would be starting entrepreneurship. Like it was something when pandemic came in, that's when Oval NFT actually started. So it was not something that I started back in high school. In high school I was very like most high schools are very focused on discipline and studies, and you have to
Yeah,
do quizzes and assignments, and um, you're so locked up in all of these things that you don't even think out of the box, and you don't even know what doors it can open for you. It's just when I graduated from high school, that's when things of entrepreneurship came into my way, and it just completely changed my life. Okay, when when like when I was in a high school, it was not a very good experience for me in high school. Okay, I was like pursuing a completely different field, and it was not related to entrepreneurship. And but then when the pandemic came in, that's when I started to taking interest in competitions and starting my own startup, and doing some research and doing things along the way. So entrepreneurship has been a very exciting journey for me. It has opened a lot of doors for me. It has made it has also resulted in me getting to know a lot of new people who can help me out in my journey. A lot of young entrepreneurs who are working in the same field which I'm working on, or are pursuing startups of different nature but are the same age as I am. So it is so interesting. It is such an exciting ecosystem to be in. Yeah.
I definitely agree with the part where you said that, school sort of has you restricted to this bubble because you can't really apply what you learn or sort of get practical about
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah,
during
they do
the
not teach you the things that are necessary in the real world.
yeah.
बहुत सारी चीजें आपको बाद में पता चलती हैं, ओ ये तो हमें सिखाया ही नहीं था.
Okay, so during school, often अक्सर ये activities होती हैं like, business Olympiads होते हैं, like in your situation. I remember, I have business Olympiads here in Lahore, which different schools host. So did you take part in anything, or do these extracurricular activities that schools hold at a national level, do they really help you with this thing?
Okay, so back then I was in a school or high school. I was not a part of any such Olympiads or competitions. It was after when I graduated from high school, then I got to know that there are so many competitions that are happening. And or in pandemic also, a lot of things started then in 2020, क्योंकि
Yeah,
सब कुछ online हो गया था. तो everyone got an opportunity के Zoom पे online सबको लें और एक competition करा दें, एक
yeah.
mentoring session करा दें. So many things started from there as well. So then that's where I started applying in competitions, and that's how मतलब शुरू में तो there was not कि foreign ही competitions जीतना शुरू हो गए, or it is a very smooth road. Of course, it was a journey, a learning journey. I learned how to give a speech, how to make a pitch deck, how to give a pitch in front of judges, and it was a journey which lead me to where I am today. And of course, there were some bumps and holes along the way,
Yeah.
but I was very lucky to have also won a few awards as well in these competitions that have happened.
So moving on, you also went on to do a course from IBA. So how was that experience? How was sort of like the environment at IBA, and in general the institution and your experience with it?
It was great. It was actually the first time that I presented that I gave a pitch in front of so many people on an in-person level, क्योंकि उससे पहले online काफी सारे किए थे. So it was great. The people over there were great, and the entrepreneurship course was by Sir Shahid Qureshi, who is a great person and a great mentor. And so it was also a very a good learning experience, because there were like courses, classes hoti thi jisme they would teach you a lot of things about basics of entrepreneurship, to things that are very like the models, business models, and everything related to that. And it was a very good experience. And there were many young entrepreneurs like me who I from whom I got a lot to learn. And the mentor was great. And I also got to know many people from IBA who are doing similar businesses, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds great. So, moving on to your startup, when exactly did you have the vision for Oval NFT, and for our audience, explain your startup?
Okay, so from a very young age, I was very interested in technologies, new and emerging technologies. And so I stumbled upon blockchain technology. And also, I started working on paid projects around such technologies. So that's when I stumbled upon a project which was an NFT based project, which using smart contracts on blockchain technology. And so it was an international project, and I applied for a role and I got the job. So that was where I was introduced to the endless possibilities of NFTs and smart contracts using the blockchain technology. And the team had around 38 members, and the project generated revenues of more than $50 million. So the founder and his team were really good, and they really guided and mentored me. So that's when I got to know about this. And so the vast and untapped potential of NFTs and blockchain really compelled me to start my own venture, Oval NFT. And since starting my business, I've never looked back. We are now a team of 5 members, and we include full stack Clarity developers and Web3 and generative developers. And we have been featured in numerous places and won multiple awards. And so Oval NFTs, basically, we are is a Web 3.0 blockchain startup, and we are using blockchain technology, which provides NFT solutions with embedded smart contracts, helping businesses to strategize and implement the launch of NFTs across the spectrum, from brands and artists and content creators to degree award institutions, real estate, and the public sector. So that's what Oval NFT is. And yeah, that's how I started.
So, just like explain some of the, because obviously, like you said, not every journey is smooth. There are, like a few obstacles in the path. So, for aspiring entrepreneurs, for people who want to start, these small startups and want them to go big someday. So, what advice would you give? And like explain this in terms of your own experience, in terms of the problems you faced yourself with your startup.
Okay, so to be an entrepreneur, you have to have like a lot of qualities. It's not one quality that you need to have, it's a combination of a lot of qualities. Like, you need to have patience. It's not going to be an instant success when you start. It is going to take a lot of time. It will require a lot of patience, and of course consistency. It's not like if you work one day for 24 hours, it is enough. You have to make small efforts every day in order to achieve a greater purpose in the long run. And similarly, it links to ambition. Like if you're not ambitious enough of for what you're doing, you won't be able to have that amount of patience and consistency. And these are like little things. And similarly, you need to have kindness and humility with the people you're working with, or else they are not going to love working with you. You need to have a good working culture with the people you're working with, and you need to have empathy. Like one of my interns was having her mids past few months, and like there was a video that had to be edited in that week, but like I understood that she had her mids in that week, so I edited that video myself and gave that week off to her. So that's how, make people who are working with you realize that they matter, and they do have that freedom that they can come up to you and they can express what they feel like, what they're going through. So these are things that you need to have within yourself to be like a successful entrepreneur and to run a startup. Yeah.
And you just talked about being, being like a team leader, taking your team with you along every step of the way.
Hmm.
So, was this your first time being placed in this position, or during high school you had experiences with leadership, or is this something that you can easily adapt to if you're doing it for a first time?
Yeah. So for me, after I graduated from high school, it's everything after that that I've learned. It is like literally hands-on experience. It is very something that I learned practically by doing it. Like when I hired people, when I started my startup, when I started doing all of this, that's when I learned these things. Okay, you of course you experience the struggles and challenges along the way, and then you learn from it. ऐसे ही कोई you can't just learn it if someone tells you on a list के okay, you need to have this, you need to do this. You can't just follow the steps. You need to practically experience that and then learn from the mistakes you make. So that's how I learned it. It was like a hands-on experience, a practical experience that I learned it from my own uh, challenges. And yeah.
Okay. So we're going to wrap this up now. So um, give a few remarks on how to keep a sort of a startup consistent. Like you talked about doing a bit every day and slowly
Hmm.
allowing it to grow. But I'm sure there are a
Hmm.
number of other problems. Like, for example, sometimes there are different dynamics between team members.
Hmm.
Sometimes the nature of your project is so that it's not very appealing to the general public. So, in terms of some of the major problems that entrepreneurs face nowadays, could you give some advice?
Hmm. Okay, so these are like different sets of problems that you've mentioned. Like, for example, if you have, you are not, like you said, the idea is not very appealing to the masses. You can, for that, you can like have a mentor. You can connect with someone who is older than you, who has some experience within that field, to work on why is this not working, where is it lacking, and what thing you can work on. Or if it's like you have a complicated dynamic with your team members, you need to then figure things out with them. You need to sit and talk about it and think of why this is going like that, and you need to have a friendly relationship with them. Like in like as I said, when you are starting in a you are in a startup ecosystem, there are many fears that you have to overcome. Even if it's like public speaking, or you're not good at with people, you do not have really good people skill, then you need to learn along the way. So that's what I would recommend. Yeah.
Okay, that was some really, really valuable advice, which I hope some of our audience can relate to. So, this is the end of this episode. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll be tagging Batool and adding her LinkedIn profile in our post. So if you have any questions for her, feel free to reach out to her. And if you have any questions about university guidance, feel free to DM us on our Instagram page or visit our website, kisuni.org. Thank you so much, Batool, for coming and for your time. It really was a wonderful session with you, and good luck with your startup.
Thank you so much for having me, and I really, really wish you all the best of luck for Kis Uni, and I really hope that it manages to get to the masses and really helps people in high school who are struggling with these sort of problems, and really, really helps them in getting to the right university or starting a startup or whatever they want to do. And thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.